In November 2005, TV presenter Ben Fogle and Olympic gold medalist James Cracknell set out on one of the world's toughest challenges, to row 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean.
Are we crazy? Half the stuff's outside, being swept overboard.
They would face the worst weather the Atlantic could throw at them.
We've come too far to go back.
Their only protection, a tiny 24-foot rowing boat. The crossing would take 2 months and see Ben and James push to their absolute limits.
We're gasping.
Lack of food, lack of sleep.
We follow their epic voyage with exclusive footage that captures their life-changing journey.
Antigua, here we come!
As they go through hell and high water. The Atlantic rowing race is the ultimate test of mental and physical endurance. The race starts in the Canary Isles and finishes on the Caribbean island of Antigua. In between, the competitors face 3,000 miles of open, untamed ocean. For even the most experienced of rowers, it's a massive and perilous undertaking.
Sorry.
But for wildlife TV presenter Ben Fogle, it's a seemingly impossible task. He's a complete novice.
Sorry. I'm just not a very well-balanced person. That sounds bad, doesn't it?
Ben will be expected to row 12 hours a day, every day, for up to 3 months.
I think the reality of just the challenge that lays ahead, the vast ocean, the huge waves, the physical and mental exertion of the whole thing, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm utterly petrified right now.
And don't try and pull too hard. So we're not a race. Don't try and impress me. Don't try and pull too hard. Just be natural, enjoy it, relax.
Facing the challenge of getting Ben up to speed is his rowing partner, 2 times Olympic gold medalist James Cracknell.
Yeah, I know.
It's just hurrying yourself a bit. Don't hurry.
Okay.
And just really give yourself the time to know what the blades are doing.
Yeah.
Okay?
And James is in no doubt about the gamble he's taking.
If you look at it realistically, Ben doesn't row very well. He hasn't done that much rowing on the water at all. He's done a lot of training over the last few months to get fit, but he hasn't done any rowing. So people may think, well, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage straight away. But in a way, it's more of a challenge to do it this way.
In his role as a TV presenter, Ben is used to getting close to nature. So why leave this relatively comfortable environment to risk it all on one of the world's most extreme endurance tests?
Nearly 3 kilometres. Why am I doing it? I don't know, why am I doing it? It's partly I thrive on challenges. I love a challenge. I think it's such a healthy thing. And I just think it's very important every so often to just push yourself a little bit. And just to add an element of adventure, I suppose, to your day-to-day routine.
My immediate reaction when he said he was going to do this was worry, anxiety, absolute dread, but also very proud.
And I know Ben, he's so stubborn. If he wants to do something, he'll just do it.
It's a mixture of complete excitement and complete terror.
Ben's rowing partner, James Cracknell, is slightly better qualified for the event. James has won gold medals in the rowing fours at both the Sydney and Athens Olympic Games. But he's never taken part in an event quite like this before.
When I took a year out of rowing after the Olympics, I figured I got a lot of competitive urges out of my body, and I hadn't planned something like this. And obviously the urges I thought I'd quelled for a while haven't been quelled.
He's very driven. He is very ambitious. He needs a challenge in his life.
Everyone's thinking, oh, James will just be a nightmare in this situation. But reality of it, I think it could be a very strong character building for him and can do him a lot of good.
Crossing the Atlantic Ocean from one continent to the other is an incredibly rare thing to have the opportunity to do, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's very exciting, but at the same time, it's totally different to what I've done before because the results are totally unknown.
Wildlife presenter Ben and Olympic sportsman James may be an unlikely partnership, but by the end of their training, they'll need to be working in perfect harmony. Ahead of them is one of the world's toughest nautical challenges, and there'll be no room for mistakes. Most teams taking part in the race will have spent up to 2 years planning and preparing both their bodies and their boats for the punishing Atlantic crossing.
Okay.
But Ben and James are not quite so well organised.
It's Ben Fogle here. I'm taking part in the Atlantic rowing race later this year.
It's August 2005, and with just 10 weeks until the race begins, they're only now holding their first planning session.
We've got 2.5 months to get all this in order.
Well, you go away on September the 20th.
Yeah.
So we've got a month.
Okay. We've got to get our food, we've got to get all our kit, we've got to get our boat ready, organise it for it to be shipped out, and then just the small, huge matter of training.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Oh, we're leaving it late. Well, yeah, massively late, massively late. No boat, never rowed together. Ben's hardly rowed. Haven't done much training. Haven't sorted out the food. Haven't sorted out how much food, what our diet strategy is. Don't know the navigational course, so don't know how to get there. Don't know the safety course in case we capsize. So we have not only the training to do, we have to build our boat. We've got everything to do.
And I can make sure I pick out.
Their lack of forward planning places the pair under intense pressure, not least because they haven't yet got a boat. It's still under construction, which means that they've been unable to practice in anything like realistic conditions. Today, they've come to London's Docklands to try out a boat from the last race. It's their first encounter with the kind of vessel that will be their home for anything up to 3 months.
Oh, it look much bigger. You know what? This looks small. This looks really small.
The Atlantic challenge boats are just 24 foot long and are made of nothing but plywood.
The thought of having to hunker down in here and for a case of a storm, and that being the bedroom. Well, just bigger than some flats in London, I suppose. On the positive side.
It's really small. It's just really, really small.
Each boat is built to the same identical design, so that no one team will have an advantage.
I don't think I've ever rowed in an airport before. Okay, James, I want an honest critique on my
The basics are there, definitely. We'll develop it so that we actually use our body weight a bit more. Because at the moment, very straight up and down, so you're actually not using the full weight of your body, which comes for free. So can you keep that up for 14 hours a day?
Well, I'm going to have to. I could do this for 14 hours. Yeah, well, I will do this for 14 hours a day.
Ben isn't the only one who will need resolve. James's wife, Bev, and Ben's girlfriend, Marina, are facing months alone at home with only the occasional phone call.
Of course I'm worried about it. Every moment he's out there, he's in danger. Potentially something could happen, whether it's a shark, whether it's a liner, whether it's a freak wave. Of course I'm going to have nasty dreams and I'm going to wake up and really, really want to speak to him and have my phone on the entire time. I'm quite happy that he doesn't do this on a regular basis, and it would be great if he was doing this every 6 months, but I think it's such a great project and it's a huge feat, and I think it's a life-changing experience. It's great.
James's wife, Bev, is understandably nervous as they have a 2-year-old son together.
When he showed me this picture of this little tiny boat and that the nearest support vessel might be 7 hours away and that, oh no, you can't get a helicopter out there if there's an emergency, I was outraged. If he comes back from this and says he's not happy with it, I'll kill him. I'll kill him because you don't have that luxury. You better enjoy this. You had better enjoy every second of this adventure because I won't be. So one of us had better have a good time out of this.
The boys are facing up to the harsh reality that for up to 12 weeks, this minuscule space will be their whole world.
I'll have a look in the ensuite.
I don't think you'll even fit in there, James.
That's a tactic, is I'll just keep rowing all the time.
I'm coming in.
Oh, it's going to be so bad.
Very cosy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the only way to... See, that's quite nice if, during the daytime. If it's a nice...
Yeah, you got
calm
a nice
day.
sort of sunburn square on your chest.
Square. And do you think this wouldn't? Is this... I mean, is this what ours is going to be like? I suspect so. It looks very wooden and unseaworthy, really, when you look at it like this. But I suppose they know their stuff. Home for 40 days.
It's going to be some time before Ben and James's own boat is ready, but there's plenty to do.
Ah,
Ben is going shopping for safety kit, and there's a long list.
as well. God. I'll take 2 of these, please.
Okay.
What is this?
This transmits a radio signal
Right.
to the satellite.
If something happens to us, this is what will tell the world that something has gone wrong.
That's right.
And how much am I talking for that?
You're talking about £400 for one of those.
The life raft?
£2,000.
Do you think I'm mad? Have you, no, I take it you...
Absolutely crackers.
Do you think it's dangerous?
I'm sure it'd be great fun. I think you have a great time.
Didn't answer the question. What else have we got? Foghorn.
Really loud.
That is blooming loud. VHF. Big ship, this is little ship. Immersion suit.
Immersion suit, yes.
Got to be able to breathe.
I'm not very good at this, am I? It looks like a giant baby grow, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can I take it off now? It's really horrid.
Do you want me to let you out?
Actually, I'm just worried about getting my lips stuck in it. You let me out. This is the scary bit. He's gone to toss it all up.
Won't be that bad. Don't worry.
Hiring the life raft and without the water maker,
Yeah.
you're looking at just under £3,000 plus VAT.
Okay, just for safety kit.
Just for safety.
Okay. How do I pay?
How much is your life worth?
I agree. Hey, listen. My mortgage can be increased as much as we need. I'm glad I've come along, actually, because I've probably been deluding myself a little bit into thinking it will all be fine and we don't need to worry about that. But hopefully, by getting all this equipment, if something does go wrong, at least our chances of survival are increased. God, it's horrible to say that.
Ben's worries are not unfounded. An accident at sea is a distinct possibility. Of the 219 people that have attempted to row across the Atlantic, almost a third have failed, including 3 fatalities. To find out what they might be letting themselves in for, Ben and James are attending a sea survival course at the Royal National Lifeboat Institute in Poole. The friendly RNLI chaps turn on the wind and wave machines, spray them with ice-cold water, and then, just for good measure, switch all the lights off. It's terrifying and exactly what might happen. Potentially injured, in the middle of a storm, in pitch darkness. Their only hope might be an aerial rescue.
Being there in the pitch black, and then the water started to pour through the hatch, and there was no time. So you had this sort of routine of things you're supposed to do, and it just kind of, you had to do everything at once, and it all got a bit of a mad panic.
It's quite uncomfortable. It's very scary as well, because you could easily be on the sea, and you've got the helicopter searchlight occasionally going overhead.
It's also, we know it was only going to be there an hour or so.
Yeah.
Before it could be days.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so much pressure. That's the thing. Because suddenly, I mean, it's so realistic. That was a proper storm, wasn't it? Our rowboat isn't much bigger than that, and we could be in a storm like that in our boat.
Yeah.
The survival course is a powerful wake-up call. The lads head down to the West Country to check on the boat that they're trusting their lives to.
Hello. Is this it? So this is your boat? Yes, it is. Wow. It's a really strange question, Justin, but what is this all wood?
It's all plywood, yeah.
It is all, the whole thing is played. It's pretty weird that you cross a whole ocean in just a plywood boat.
Indeed, yeah. The whole boat's just made from 8x4 sheets.
All of the Atlantic boats are made to the same tried and tested design. But ever the competitor, James wants to make it lighter so that it'll go faster.
How much do you think we can cut out of it?
Weight-wise?
Yeah. If we saw bits off, I'm going to lose rigidity.
No, that's it, yeah. Wouldn't want to compromise the structure of the boat, no.
Ben's less worried about the competition and more worried about comfort.
I know it's daft, but you know the wooden floor, do we have to sleep on the bare wood?
No,
do you take a mattress?
Yeah.
Or little blow-up mattresses or something?
But the problem is we're only going to take one because
Just
most
'cause
of the time
we
we're
won't be
sleeping.
there.
So if there's a storm,
Who gets it?
there's a paper, scissors, stone to see.
Paper scissors is going to become a big part of this row, isn't it?
Oh, you won the mattress again.
They may have sorted out how to share the mattress, but James is not prepared to compromise on boat speed.
What that will do?
Friction, man, friction. You don't want friction. You know, this is a lot of friction. I'm very anti-friction. Every 0.1 of a knot is massively important.
Do you know how much 0.1 of a knot will make difference will make over 35 days?
0.1 a day?
It's a whole day, yeah. That's right, whole day.
With time running out and their boat not yet shipshape, the lads are understandably anxious about getting some practice rowing in. Boat builder Justin comes to the rescue and lends them another boat. Although this is only the second time they've rowed together, James is a hard taskmaster, and he's far from happy with Ben's performance.
If you can put up with it. Okay, James, I'm coming online. Sorry.
Oh, good.
The problem is no longer one of technique, but endurance.
We've definitely got some work to do, and I think I need to almost be quite nasty to him and push him hard, because if I don't push him hard to do that now, it's going to be really bad for him and for me out there.
I hate failing, and I hate failing, when lots of people know about it. If we were doing this very secretly and no one knew that James and I were doing it, it would be fine. But we're making a film. You're all going to find out.
With less than 8 weeks until race start, at least the boat is coming along. But now Ben has to go to Africa for a month's filming. Not the best of timing.
Hello and welcome to Wild in Africa. I'm Ben Fogle.
And I'm Kate Humble, and we're in Caprivi in the far northeast of Namibia. Ben is one of those people, he kind of amazes me because on the face of it, he can appear to be the most bumbling, disorganised, frankly dumb blonde that I've ever met. And yet he will set himself these challenges which and he'll and they'll come out of the blue. It's like he hasn't really thought them through at all. He'll just pluck something out of the blue, like, I'm going to run across the Sahara. And you go, yeah. And 6 weeks later, he does.
So we're in Namibia, the driest country in the world, about as far away from rowing as you can possibly get. And I've been trying to combine kind of work with training in what isn't the most conducive environment, I suppose. By that, I mean it's blooming hot here.
While Ben's in Africa working hard on the rowing machine, James is in Exmouth working hard on the boat. But he's none too happy.
That won't be annoying after about a day. Ben's out in Africa at the moment. He's sunning himself with some lioness in the middle of the African jungle. He seems absolutely fine, whereas I've been stuck with the admin. I was hoping I was going to be more the engine and Ben would be the admin navigation of this mission, whereas at the moment I've taken on far too much admin. Ugh. I'm sure Ranulph Fiennes doesn't have this problem.
Hey James, how are you doing?
In between filming breaks, Ben is trying to keep in touch with James, but making a call from the wilds of Africa is not always easy.
Pretty poor reception here, so if I go, I'll try calling a bit later from a better signal area. Yeah, it's good. I just did an hour's session this morning and nearly killed myself. It's because of the heat.
He's training pretty hard. He seems to have done as much of the training programme that I set him as possible. If he turns up in the best possible shape he can be in, I can't have any gripes about his performance in the rowings. If he turned up underprepared, then that would lead to some tension over the over the next 6 weeks.
I have to say, actually, I'm feeling much stronger on the machine, much stronger. It is bizarre because, you know, I do it with this fantastic sort of backdrop around me, and it's so hard to imagine what it's going to be like when you're being knocked about and you're on a big ocean. And I think the thing that worries me is that, you know, I do an hour on the machine out here, and it genuinely, I mean, I nearly die. And that's just 1 hour, and I'm going to be doing 12 of those every day for 2 months. I know that James is going to be waiting to call me into the gym on the day I get back, and I'd quite like to impress him with what I've done out here.
Back in gloomy England, James has come to one of his old Olympic haunts, Leander Club, to have a heart-to-heart with his old mate, Sir Steve Redgrave.
James' character is very in-depth, very complicated type of guy, very intense, very single-minded in whatever he's going to do, will block out everything else just to get to the goal that he wants to. It's in some ways, it doesn't surprise me that you're doing it. I personally can't think of anything worse. There's no escape from it.
Yeah, but one of the reasons it's doing it, you are escaping from kind of normal life and phones and computers. You know, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, is having a bit of time and space. As much to think about what I'm going to do when I get back, but everyone who I've spoken to says it's not the best time to think about what you want to do when you get back. So that's kind of backfired.
I think you'll learn a lot about yourself. I don't know if that'll be good or bad.
We'll find out.
I couldn't think of anything worse than doing the race, and it wouldn't matter who it was with. But if I was going to do it, I'd be quite pleased to do it with James. He's a great athlete. You know that he's 110% committed to doing it.
So if Ben got injured in the next 3 weeks, if he accidentally fell over...
Don't ask. You know I have this problem of not being able to say no.
Yeah. I got your number.
But after a month training under the unforgiving African sun, Ben not only survives, but returns to the UK a much fitter man. Now, with only 4 weeks left until the start of the race, it's time to think about provisions.
Yes, halal chicken casserole.
I'll have a chicken and herb dumpling for me.
The boat's weight is absolutely critical to its speed. Every gram will make a difference, especially for the highly competitive James. So a diet of lightweight, dehydrated army rations is on the menu.
When I did my marathon race, this is what we lived off, and they taste miserable.
There are, however, some essentials they still need to buy.
What are we going to do about loo roll?
If you have these, you're going to be on one sheet to go.
That's like the stuff you get in school, look, that disgusting paper stuff that you get. Yeah.
I'm going to go for the lightly fragrant stuff. Could do with an air freshener.
Yes, air freshener.
There's a one called Ocean Wave that smell nice. Don't go for your scented candle, man. You're so Notting Hill.
The lads will hopefully be mid-ocean for Christmas, and for Ben, that's an excuse for treats.
Pudding, look at the size of it.
But ever so practical James has other ideas.
Take that for Christmas.
Vanilla wafers.
They're not very heavy.
Not very. So I suppose a Dougal cake is out. Christmas. Or what about just some jelly decorations? Or some fantastic fruity faces? That's what I'm allowed for Christmas Day.
But it's not all fun and games. There's a serious side to their shopping. As their bodies are pushed to the limit, Ben and James will burn 10,000 calories a day, 4 times what's normal.
Nuts. Nuts, yes. Let's get some nuts. This is nearly 5,000 calories.
That's half a day's worth, just over half a day's worth of calories. Probably the only time you can ever really justify eating pork scratchings is when you're out at sea.
It looks a bit depressing when you see what I've got 7 weeks to live off. It is quite scary, I have to say. It's the realisation now that this is it. It's just me and my nuts. Oh yes, and let's not forget my jelly decorations. Christmas Day on Ben and James's boat.
And at long last, that boat is ready. As it begins its journey to the start point in the Canaries, it's time for the lads to say goodbye to their friends and families.
To James and to Ben.
This has kind of been blood, sweat and tears for 4 months now. Admittedly, most other teams have been doing it for 4 years, but we'll brush over that. And, you know, to all our friends and families, you know, thank you for letting us go, and we promise to come back safely, I suppose. Yeah, that's we'll try anyway.
Yeah. The organisation has been pretty hard, although I found out that Ben can organise a party far quicker than a boat trip. So there should be another good one when we get back. So thank you for coming and have a great night. Thank you. It's nice actually because I haven't seen that much of friends or even that much of family in the last few weeks. It's been so hectic, and it's nice to actually say goodbye to everyone properly rather than just sort of slope off and see them sort of sometime in the new year.
They're leaving tomorrow for the Canaries. All very exciting. Big goodbye tonight. This is the last they're going to see of British soil for quite a long time.
You look around us now at this kind of whole, we're in central London, we're drinking champagne. How different is this going to be to what life is going to be like in a week's time when we actually...
This is the last time we're going to wear a jacket and shirt, last time for a jumper. This is it, you know.
It all changes from here.
Basically naked for the next 6 or 7 weeks.
Whilst it's all smiles and laughs now, Ben and James are about to find out what really happens when you leave it all to the last minute. After a desperately short preparation time in the UK, Ben and James have finally arrived on the island of La Gomera in the Canaries for the start of the Atlantic Challenge. 26 teams will be setting out from this island on their journey across the Atlantic to Antigua, 3,000 miles away. It will take anywhere between 39 and 111 days to cross. By any standards, it's an epic adventure. More people have climbed Everest than have rowed the Atlantic. All the other teams are nearly ready for the start. They've built their boats, fitted them out, rowed, and even lived in them. But Ben and James's boat hasn't even been in the water yet, and already there's a major problem.
We've got a big hole in the boat. After more time underneath this boat than on top of it.
The hole in our boat is a disaster. It was actually very small, and it was just luck that James spotted it, actually.
It was actually an accident on the trailer. It fell off the trailer and smacked into one of the supporting struts on the trailer, which then punched through the boat.
We were supposed to get the boat in today. I don't know if we will anymore. But like I say, I undoubtedly will be the last boat in the water.
In addition to fixing the hole in the boat, Ben and James have to attend daily safety lectures arranged by the race organisers.
On any chart, the latitude scale's always up on the side.
All of the boats have to be safety checked by the race committee. If they're not up to scratch, then they can't take part. They've just discovered that the boys have the wrong life raft. If they can't get a new one, then the dream will be over before it's even started.
They say it's going to arrive on Saturday now, one day before we actually set out.
The life raft is due to arrive the day before race start on Sunday. If there's the slightest delay, they won't be racing. And there's still so much to do on the boat. Whilst Olympic athlete James is concerned about a high-performance diet, Ben seems more concerned about sweets.
These are our snack bags. We have a packet of peanuts to share. That's a good bag. See, it's like a pick and mix. That's a lucky one. One chocolate chip mousse that we have to share. And we have a pepperami to share. And then we have chocolate bars, 2 each. It's great.
Looks like we've got some bartering as well to do in there. I'll sort you my sausage for your nuts.
The last boat, apart from Ben and James, is being lowered into the water. All competitors have to row their boats for at least 18 hours at sea before race starts. So far, the boys have managed a grand total of 0. As one of the world's top athletes, James is used to having a large support team behind him. He's finding it tough that they have to sort out all their own problems.
It would have been nice to get out there, really get a feel for it and sort a lot of the little problems out, because we're not going to have a chance to work out the teething problems. We're almost going to have to get it right first time, which we haven't done in anything else, so there's no reason to think we're going to get that right as soon as we put the boat on the water. But it is difficult for me, you know, when you see people doing all their go faster stuff and we're still building the bottom of our boat. It's certainly starting to get on my nerves.
It's competitiveness. Even more than ever now, this is an adventure. that I'm taking part in. And an adventure is getting from A to B and rowing across the Atlantic for me. That is all I care about. And I'm happy to go with James's must win, must come first, must win the race. I'm happy to go along with that, but he's becoming slightly obsessed by it now, and you know, it's driving him crazy. He'll tell you that. It's driving him crazy.
But reinforcements have arrived. James's young son, Croyd, is a welcome relief for everyone.
Did you have a nice day? Hello, who's that? Row your boat. He's gone all shy of me now.
James is going to be away at sea for months, and he'll be away for Christmas. It's especially tough for him having to leave his 2-year-old son behind. Thursday morning. Race start is only 3 days away, and Ben and James are still not on the water. While everyone else is out training, the boys still have everything to do before they can even start their 18 hours of sea trials. And to make matters worse, yet another problem has arisen.
Water maker, I mean, we've spoken to some of the people who've done it before and the organisers, and the consensus is we have a water maker on board that's quite an old version. Everyone just looks at it and just goes... And we just had our safety meeting this morning where basically the conclusion is that most boats that drop out of this race is because of technical problems with their water maker.
It's a tough decision. If the water maker fails, it's game over. But installing a new one will put them even further behind. Time they can't afford to lose.
Yeah. The thing is, we put so much time and so much energy into this that to skimp on $2,500 and get 35 days out there and then say, sorry, we're not going to make it, we need help.
Okay, let's make a decision now then.
Croyd, should we take the big water maker or the small water maker?
That's a good way to decide.
Hooray! Hooray for which one? The big one?
Hooray!
Well, there we are then.
The delicate operation to install the new water maker begins, and the clock is ticking.
It is very late in the day to be doing it. There's no way we'd have chosen to change the most important component on our boat 2 days before we start, but it is the most important component on our boat.
It's not great, is it?
I think maybe Ben feels a bit worse about it because, you know, he was the one that sorted out the water maker and the life raft. But then again, I was the one that sorted out the boat, and there's things that we'd have done differently on that had we known what you can and can't do. But it's tough because, you know, other teams are playing football, a bit of water polo, just going for a nice relaxing paddle. You know, we're sanding, cleaning, fitting new bits of equipment. We've still got loads of stuff to do from our scrutineering. So we're definitely up against it.
In the nick of time, Ben's family arrived to lend a helping hand.
Look at you, hi.
And there's lots of them.
You look tanned. I apologise for no shirt, it's just we're working on the boat, it's horrid.
All you've done is done his nose.
As well as bringing much-needed emotional support, their families have also brought some essentials that slipped through the net, including 2 poo buckets.
Well, Mummy chose the colours.
There was no choice. You get 2 bags you want first.
See, the only problem, James... Well, no, because I think you'll squat, won't you?
4 hours later, and at last, the new water maker is up and running. But it's set them even further back.
We have water.
They now have even less time to catch up with all the other teams. Later that evening, and with 60 hours before race start, the boys are being visited by race safety officer Lynn Parker. Word has reached her that it's a complete disaster at the boat. She wants to find out for herself just how serious the problem is.
What we've just been doing is talking about the chaoticness down here, and we've just come down to see what else needs doing to see how we can speed it up, really.
We're not too well. We would have been in the water today, but we changed the water maker after the meeting.
Okay.
It's Lynn's responsibility to make sure that they have all the right safety equipment and qualifications. With the boys' preparations so far behind, she means business. If they can't impress her, then she'll disqualify them.
So your axes, where are they mounted?
They're not yet.
Right. Okay. So you need to see your life jackets marked with your boat identity number. It's really weird. Right, the grab bag has to be in that locker.
Oh, in the locker? Can't be down here?
No. Right.
We're going through final scrutineering, but we haven't really done half of it. We haven't had time. So James is trying to describe how to use the hand pump that we just got, that we don't know how to use.
And then the bombshell.
major piece missing from your documentation is this boat is illegal at the moment. It doesn't have a ship's radio licence. It doesn't have like a car tax disc.
Yes, I will do that.
Right, I would be surprised if you manage to get one at this late notice. It's usually like one of those things that takes a week to apply for.
Okay. Okay.
You need it.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yep.
So if it takes a week to apply for, and we've got 3 days.
Yep.
What does that mean? We don't go.
Yep. You need a licence.
Okay.
So you need to spend all your time on your phone to the licence people and sweet talk them into fast tracking it for you.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that with a lot of sweet talking, if we can't get it, then we can't take part in the race, and that's that.
The lack of preparation is giving Lynn major concerns. She's decided to call an emergency meeting with the race organisers to see if anything can be done.
Okay, we'll see you over there.
Okay.
Cheers, boys. Thank you. I think they're far from ready. I think they're very unprepared, and I think they've got an awful lot to do to get to the start line.
People who've been playing for 2 years and you go, don't worry about it. Well, we're pretty up against it now, eh?
Yeah.
I would get that certificate from somewhere.
I think we'd probably enter, but just not in the race. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
We're not turning back, we're not going. Just might mean we're not taking part in the Woodville race, and they might not be backing us up. That's that, we're still taking part.
The most important thing they haven't completed yet is 18 hours rowing. They've got to go out and row for 18 hours and find out what works, what doesn't, what breaks, and then come in and fix it before they can actually be certain that the boat's capable of going across the ocean. If they don't convince me they're safe enough, they will not be going.
It's finally hitting home that they may not be allowed to take part in the race, and the tension is really starting to show.
Well, basically, Lynn has read the riot act and said that we can't take part in the race unless we conform to X, Y, and Z. She doesn't think we've done enough preparation. She doesn't think our boat's ready. She doesn't think we're competent. Just demoralised and sort of pissed off, I suppose.
I don't feel particularly worried about us in terms of safety, but then they feel there's a big problem because we're not that worried.
I'm struggling with this already. I'm terrified about it.
Last night, I found it really hard to go to sleep thinking about what it's going to be like out in the middle of the Atlantic, but I'm not going to tell anyone else that. So just because I don't tell the safety officer how scared I am doesn't mean that we're not worried about the middle of the Atlantic. That would be stupid.
I don't know, part of me just wants to go, well, forget it.
Ben's adamant that he's going to head out regardless.
We could row James and I could set off and row across this ocean.
It'd be a tough call to head out there without any guaranteed safety backing. Ben's adamant he wants to do it. I've got a young boy and a wife, and I don't think I could just row off out there the same way he says he could.
Friday morning, 2 days until race start. Ben and James are completely up against it. If they aren't ready by 5 p.m, then Lynn will end their dream of crossing the Atlantic.
We have 3 hours to get this boat on the water. James is doing his VHF course, which was rather foolishly omitted. And yeah, if we don't get this boat in by 4, then we won't be doing it.
There's still so much to do before Lynn's next inspection, let alone finding a home for shark repellent, champagne, and Ben's Christmas decorations. Everyone's helping, even some of the other competitors.
So you've got sealant, you've got a hand drill? I can get all this stuff from my boat if we need it.
Was that any good, the stuff that we got?
He is really stressed. There's no stress I've ever seen him. Definitely the most stressed this week. I just think he just doesn't know what to do anymore. I really think he's on the verge of just bursting into tears and just saying, I don't know what to do anymore. But he won't. He'll keep on going until he can't anymore. You know, he's not Ben at the moment. Ben is usually always quite chilled. You say something to him and he doesn't take it in. He just walks along like he's in a daze. You know, all of this, can you imagine they go home with their tail between their legs and, you know, it's a great big kick up the arse for both of them. It's what they needed. It's a shame it didn't happen 3 days ago.
We'll get someone who knows how to.
Ben has even managed to rope in one of the race organisers.
Could you do that? Yeah.
But it seems that everyone else is on the water, apart from our boys. But with this many hands on deck, they may just stand a fighting chance.
I'll go by.
Length of the drone.
And then at last, a bit of good news. The missing life raft has finally arrived.
I'm immensely relieved the raft is here. Lynn cannot complain that it's wrong. Right.
And then James returns from his VHF radio course.
Congratulations, did you pass your test?
I had the highest score ever on
Did you?
Camera.
Oh, James.
James may have passed with flying colours,
She's on her way over, apparently.
but will it be enough to satisfy Lynn?
I actually like most people. I don't warm to her one single bit. She's doing her job, I can see that. And you know, she has an immense pressure on her to make sure we're ready. And I totally respect that and see that. But I don't like her manner. You know, she has to understand this is our dream as well. She's trying to shatter. And I do see it that way. She is trying to, she does not want us to go, I don't think.
How are we doing?
It's only 18 hours since Lynn's last inspection, but Ben has some amazing news.
Radio license is out. We have a radio license, and it's been printed, and it's in the hands of someone who is flying out tomorrow.
But
And the other good news is that I can give you
a life raft
a
certificate.
certificate of service for a life raft with a Solus B-pack, all on board, lanyard tied. I won't get too excited before you.
Okay, so your life raft issue sorted.
Very good. Yeah, it's resolved.
It's not over yet. While friends and family wait nervously, Lynn completes her final checks. Their Atlantic dreams are in her hands.
This late stage, it's too late to start worrying, have they been unjustly penalised or should they have done more? But they will be absolutely gutted if they aren't put in as a qualifying boat.
There are only minutes to go before the launch deadline. It's down to Lynn now.
Well, you really impressed me.
Okay,
You can go in the water.
10 to 5 on Friday. It's actually going in the water. So less than 36 hours before the race. And we've got the next 20 of them we're going to spend out at sea. And then we come in for a little bit and then off we go across. Yeah. Going up now.
With less than 2 days until the start, this will be the first time their boat has ever been in the water.
We don't know if it floats, we don't know if we're going to be able to take part in the race. It's still all the unknown. I think a small smile has started to reform on my face after probably one of the worst days of my life. But it's far from over.
Congratulations!
Glad to see it in the water. And right on time, within half an hour. I'm impressed.
There is such a buzz here, and I can see the adrenaline in the air virtually from everybody, and it's quite sort of contagious, and I can't wait for them to go. I can't wait for them to come back, but I can't wait for them to actually go.
When they first arrived, I just thought they were two celebrities taking part in the race. But now, I mean, they're both genuinely nice guys. They're working really, really hard, and they might feel like I've been unfair to them, but what they probably don't realise is I've seen so many different things going wrong at sea. And when I looked at what was not done properly on their boat, I didn't just see, oh, James and Ben haven't done this job properly. I just saw the practical aspects of being at sea that they weren't quite seeing with the same eyes as I was.
At last they're launched, but the 18 hours of sea trials will also be their first hours in the boat. As dusk falls, they head out to sea. And it's just as well that Lynn's got them on the water, as James has already found his first problem.
I need a lower seat because it's too close to my target.
All the other teams have been rowing at sea, not just in La Gomera, but also for months back at home. Ben and James have a lot of catching up to do. Back on land, everyone else is going to the official last night party. The boys have to complete a variety of boat handling exercises in the dark, watched by a safety boat.
Have you got a retrieval line off the stern, a trip line that goes to the power anchor?
As the party draws to a close, the boys head back to dry land after a grueling night on the water.
I felt under a lot of pressure.
We were under a lot of pressure out there to perform, really. It was a reality check, that's for sure.
It was really good in the dark to try and put the power anchor out for the first time, and we were like, you know, reading the instructions in the cabin.
I still think Lynn was a bit harsh with us, but we needed that. We needed to go out tonight. We definitely.
I don't think she was harsh, actually. I don't think she was harsh. I think she was dead right. We learned a lot in terms of how to set the boat up rowing-wise, because if we're not comfortable rowing, it's going to be really horrible.
The night row hasn't only highlighted potential boat problems, it's also highlighted possible problems with their relationship.
When we were out doing our sea trials, I saw a side of him I hadn't seen before, which did scare me a bit, because he was. There was a real sort of, why aren't you rowing faster? Come on, Ben. Lots of swearing and shouting, and I was doing my best. He said, I can't hear you panting, come on. And I've suddenly realised I don't know him at all, and I don't know what to expect out there.
With tensions running high between them, they're due to set off the next morning, and then another bombshell.
They've postponed the start. So it's not on Sunday now, it's now going to be on either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Despite the calm seas, a tropical storm has been forecast, and the organisers won't start the race until it's cleared. Which is handy, as the boys need yet more time to solve their new problem.
Last night we came in and we were fine to go, but there was things we definitely would change.
And basically it's the lowering of the seats.
Out there, it was pretty rough, and you're not going to get that all the way, but we kept catching our blades, and it's a chance to sort of put into practice the teething problems that everyone else has done. When they've done all their practice, we've actually got 3 days.
We've had to do it.
We're pretty lucky.
While the other teams can relax and take it easy, James gets straight to work. But it's a major structural job, so he's called in some expert help. They've removed the vital seat runners in order to lower them before they can fix them back in place. It's a painfully slow process, and Lynn will have to inspect it all over again.
If it's not done tonight, they're probably not going to let us race, so we've got about 4 hours of light left in which to do this.
While James cracks on with the boat, Ben has to say goodbye to his family and girlfriend. They have to head back to the UK. It's a sad moment. They won't see each other for months. To add insult to injury, the storm arrives, not only dampening their spirits, but also soaking the half-completed seats and putting more pressure on the boys' race dreams.
We're still not there. I did have a problem when James announced he was going to chop the boat down. It's like a construction site right now. And that has made me... I've been so stressed by that. And I must admit, I'm a bit disappointed in James because we both had our set things that we were going to plan for this race. And James had to get the boat ready. And he's admitted that that was his fault, getting the seating too high. Anyway, a lot to do, very stressed.
The weather looks superb from Wednesday.
Next morning, Lynn has called a race meeting. It's good news for all the competitors.
So the good news is that the rumour that's been going around that we're starting at 11 o'clock tomorrow is true. We are going to go.
But not necessarily good news for Ben and James. Despite the delay, they still aren't ready. The seats are in a desperate state, and Lynn is coming to inspect them in 6 hours. this is their last chance to get it right.
That's as dry as you like, though.
Well, I don't think the alteration to the rowing seats is going to look pretty, but I think it'll be functional.
It's not panic stations quite yet, but it's not far off it.
We can rebuild her.
With the boat still under construction, James's wife Bev has come to carry out her own inspection.
It's just snug, isn't it?
Do you like life in there, then?
Mommy? Hello? Mommy? Yes, darling? Mommy? Do you want to come in Daddy's house? I don't think you could have expected more things to go wrong. If you were suspicious, you'd think that the gods were conspiring against us, telling us that they really shouldn't be going.
And they've got 2 hours to get everything on the boat and past the scooter in for the final meeting.
All too soon, time's up. Lynn's here to give the boys her final decision.
If she doesn't pass us now, we're not going to get to race.
I look like I've rode the Atlantic already.
If she's not satisfied, then she's sending them home.
Well, I didn't think I'd ever get to say this, but as long as you're quite happy that you've got your seats and your pins in the right place, you guys are good to go.
Oh, it's been such a stressful week. Thank you. You needed to do it, I admit, and I apologise, and you did need to do us all. And my mother will be eternally grateful. So thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Good luck, eh?
Thank you very much.
There are so many things that James and I just don't know, and we have so little time now to learn how to do it. What happens if the water desalinator breaks? What happens if we don't know how to use X, Y, or Z? And I think for me, there's just so many things that are the unknown right now.
And one of the biggest unknowns is the relationship between the two rowers. They're setting out with very different expectations.
His thought is, hundreds of people have rowed this Atlantic before. If we do it, shall we join a club of 100 people? Which for me, I think is quite exciting. But for James, where he's in this exclusive club of 2 gold medals already, he wants to actually be high up in that club, in the, in the top 10, for example. And that really scares me because I know that I have to perform, if you see what I mean.
If I have to push him hard, it's going to be a nightmare relationship for us both. He should want to go hard. He should want to put the hours in. If he doesn't, then he'll be letting me down. I don't think he's the sort of person that wants to let anyone down.
I've gone through stages of being really glad that that I'm rowing across the Atlantic with him, and being utterly terrified that I'm rowing across with him. I invited James to come on this race. I have no one to blame but myself. I could have chosen Nell McAndrew, couldn't I?
Ahead of Ben and James is a massive journey. From La Gomera in the Canary Islands, 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean, to the Caribbean island of Antigua. The trip will take them away from home for months, and they'll spend Christmas at sea, away from their families.
I've got to go and return someone's Hoover.
Ben?
Thank you so much. Thank you for all our sandwiches and things.
Be careful.
I will. Don't worry.
And just don't let him bully you.
I won't.
I will miss talking to him about our day and our work. I will miss sharing Croyd's day with him. I will miss the pleasure of being parents together. I'll miss him probably on Christmas Day.
With the boat finally ready, there's one last chance to say their goodbyes before they throw themselves on the mercy of the mighty Atlantic.
To see them disappearing into the distance in a very tiny boat, in a very large sea of water, that's what frightens me.
I'd not be human if I wasn't going to worry, but I think you've just got to focus on other things, because worrying is going to achieve absolutely nothing in this instance.
I think the thing that worries me the most is that James and I are going to both be the skippers of this boat.
If something goes wrong with us, literally our lives are in each other's hands, which is quite a scary thought. And things can go seriously wrong as well. Rather than just losing a race, we could end up not coming back.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm nervous.
After months of hard training and frantic preparations, Ben and James's big moment has finally arrived. They're leaving dry land behind for the very last time, and in front of them they face nothing but ocean, thousands of miles wide and more than 10,000 feet deep. Joining the other competitors out in the harbour, they steel themselves for the journey ahead. Then at midday, the race at last begins.
Always a long way to go.
And it doesn't take long for James's competitive spirit to show.
Level draw, remember? Not high, not high.
There may be 50 days of racing ahead of them, but he's determined to lead the pack.
You compete to win. You don't actually enter the competition with any other aim than to win.
Good stuff, Ben.
He is a gold-winning Olympian, and he has that very focused, headstrong mentality. And he is very much I don't just want to take part in this race, I want to beat the world record, and I want to come first.
And it's a dream start. Rowing in perfect harmony, Ben and James begin to power through the competition.
Going to be winning in a minute.
As they leave the Canaries behind, they find themselves in first place. But then, less than a mile out, disaster strikes.
No.
The mount holding James's oar breaks away from the boat. It's a bad omen. Only 10 minutes into the race, and their lack of preparation is already beginning to tell.
Breakage already.
Take out the Tupperware boxes. In the Tupperware boxes, James, are the spanners.
I can't emphasize enough how ridiculous just 3 months to prepare for this is. Where that might sound like a lot for some people, most people have been training for 2 years and planning for 2 years, and I can easily see why.
Well, we were leading for a bit. Huh? We were leading for a bit.
With the problem fixed, they begin to row and row and row. The lads have set themselves a punishing shift system. One rows for 2 hours while the other one rests. And they continue this cycle 2 hours on, 2 hours off, all day and all night, every single day until they reach the Caribbean.
You really can't row for more than 2 hours without being pretty cheesed off or pretty exhausted. But that means that that short 2 hour period you've got off, you've got a huge amount to pack into that time. So quite often you might only get an hour of sleep, you know, an hour and a half if you're lucky.
The real dilemma is every morning when you get up, all you have to look forward to is the rowing seats and the oars, and just hours and hours of monotonous rowing.
And it doesn't take that long before they start to question their decision to set off in the first place.
Hitting a brick wall is the only way to describe that feeling of, oh my gosh, what have we done?
And that first night for us was definitely for me was the hardest. Knowing we had another 6, 7, 8 weeks of that was horrible.
We've done 23 and a half hours so far, and I think it's tougher than both of us thought.
We'll get through this, mate.
Well, physically it's tough, but also mentally it's just so slow. We're going, Ben's right now 2.6 knots. And it's just, so slow.
Just think everyone else is going through exactly the same, no different.
Shifts through the night yesterday, which were hard, 2 hours on, 2 hours off. It's just really difficult. I mean, it's fine for one night, but I think you're always thinking we've got another 50 of these, at least.
I think it's a good idea. Just focus on just your 2 hour session and that's it. That's all we have to work through, and then think nice rest, food, sleep. I don't think I've ever felt so bad in my life, ever. I know I haven't, ever, on anything. I'm sore, I ache, I'm tired, I'm pissed off, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
And it doesn't get any easier. Just a few days into their challenge, and Ben and James are beginning to fall apart.
It's tough out here, really tough out here, because we are so playing it by ear. We're just trickling across the Atlantic so slowly. Ben is really, really struggling in terms of mentally.
Just the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm 4 days in to 50. And I don't know what to do. I wish I wasn't here. I wish I was with Marina.
I've been away for up to a year before, and I always miss friends and family, but never with the intensity of this. And I think it was the isolation of it.
Ben sort of had this sort of romantic view that him and James would be rowing along and the sun would be setting in the background. And I just don't think he realised that it was going to be a real slog.
We found out since we just would both go in the cabin, cry, come out, row, go inside, cry, come out, row.
The urge to give up is so strong that the boys resolve not to call their families until there's no turning back. They fear that one phone call could break their spirits entirely.
Middle of the night, I've just come off the graveyard shift. You know, we're not even a tenth of the way. It's a long way to go. Long way to go.
I really missed him the first week, really missed him, much more than I'd sort of anticipated. I think because we weren't talking on the phone, we weren't texting, and even though we've had lots of periods apart, it was really strange not to be able to talk to him.
I still can't call home. Don't know, it'll be too hard.
Not only are they finding the isolation hard to handle, but they're also struggling with the unfamiliar boat. And while they're ironing out the teething troubles, they receive news that they're falling behind, as far back as 8th place.
Hello?
They're losing, and gold medalist James is just not used to it.
Really hot. We're getting about 1 knot. Boat's heavy. James is fed up. We chose to be here.
And the constant repetition is taking its toll on their bodies.
So what's the next job of the day?
It should be resting my blistered feet from problems they have.
Let's see them.
That's quite a painful one on my toe there. Chase. I've got another painful one there. I've got one on the back which is forming, and then I've got one which is too big for words under that effective bit of strapping.
And what about your hands?
Hands are like that.
After days of misery, the boys can't resist any longer and phone home for the first time.
Hi. Hello, how are you? I spoke to Marina for the first time today, and that made me really sad when I was speaking to her. But actually I'm feeling really upbeat. She's the most amazing girl, can I say. She was, come on, stiff upper lip, chin out. You're doing fantastically, you're 10% of the way there. Thank you, Marina. That is what I needed.
I spoke to Bev, she was amazing actually, and really supportive, and it was good. Made me feel a lot better phoning home actually, so that was good.
I just sort of spent 10 minutes giving him a pep talk and just saying, it's great, you're going to be, you're going to do so well, you're going to be so proud of yourself, we're all so proud of you, and then just trying to be up for him and make him feel better. And then I just put the phone down and I just, I cried.
But for Ben and James, the phone calls are a real boost. Suddenly they settle into the routine and for the first time begin to look forwards instead of back.
We started to mark off the number of days gone on the door, and there's not many red lines yet. There's a hell of a lot. That would be 10% of the way to go.
Where are they? I can't even see them, they're so small. There they are. Hello. That's where we are. That little dot. That's where we left from. that little dot.
And where are we going?
Here. This even smaller dot. So basically,
They may have a long way to go, but they're finally beginning to get to grips with the challenges life aboard a 24-foot plywood rowing boat presents.
Here we go!
Like converting seawater into drinking water.
Are you tasting it?
Tastes all right. There's warm, a little bit salty water can taste.
Doing the necessary ablutions.
I've had enough of you, Fogle. That's it. I'm out of here.
Cooking, even if that does only involve boiling water for their dehydrated meals.
Oh. See what I'm dealing with here. Jamie Oliver doesn't have to put up with conditions like this.
And eating the results.
That's a fine muesli you've whittled up.
And morale keeps rising. The weather begins to turn in their favour. And with the wind behind them and some strong rowing, the boys make real progress, covering as many as 70 miles a day. Remarkably, they pull themselves up from 8th place and back into contention.
How was last night?
Good. Really stormy. Well, not stormy, just strong winds. And more of what you kind of hope the middle of the Atlantic's like. Fast. Especially at night, surfing down massive waves. What are they, 15 foot? Something like that. But unfortunately, getting free speed, whereas first week we had to work for every single 0.1 of a knot, whereas last night we were getting speed for nothing, which is really good fun. But I think there's a storm in the offing because it's all a bit funny this morning.
James's premonition proves true. Hurricane Epsilon is in the region. It's reached wind speeds of 85 miles an hour and could have devastating consequences for Ben and James.
I have to say that I'm really scared about this hurricane that's on its way. They say it's going to be here in about a day, and it's already pretty rough. Whoa, this is a big wave.
Here we go.
Whoa!
Make sure we hit them stern on. You want to come out of it?
Yeah. It's getting big, isn't it?
With high winds pushing against them, rowing is pointless. All they can do to try to stop themselves going backwards is deploy their sea anchor, a kind of underwater parachute that acts as a giant brake. With the storm approaching, there's only one place to hide: the tiny cabin that usually holds just one of them at a time.
So how do you feel about both of us being in here for the night?
Well, being that if I lie in it, that's one end used up and our feet touch the other. So Ben's here. Space.
Do we sleep head to head or toes to head?
I think your head will be there and my feet will be there.
Can I just see your toes? That's what I have to sleep next to. Nice.
With the storm on its way, Ben tries to comfort himself with the thought of food.
Dear.
We're going to save this species bag to see what we've got in it later.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see one thing already.
I don't like Tom.
Huh?
What is it?
Licorice all sorts. I hate licorice all sorts. Did you buy those? Oh, man. This is a snack bag, so through the night, when we're rowing, this is what we get to share between us. And tonight... So we've got those. We've got one packet of biscuits brown.
Oh,
exciting.
over the book.
I don't know how those snuck in.
Yeah, it might slip over the side, I think.
A Yorkie bar.
Very good.
Look at this. This is a good bag. 4 Yorkie bars.
Oh, very good.
3 Go bars. And look at this. There's a bar of Milka in there. And a chocolate mousse. We are going to live like kings tonight. Through the storm in the 6-foot cabin. And we're having a no fasting policy, James. Promise?
Don't look at me.
See, that's the problem with these foods, they really give you wind.
But cooped up in such a small space, in the middle of the high seas, is no laughing matter. The mood on board soon drops.
We had to share this cabin, which is so small and just totally uncomfortable. I mean, it was so hot when the doors were shut, but then the doors were open, seawater would fly in. So you're either hot and damp from sort of condensation or cold and damp from seawater.
So frustrating.
We both found that being in that cabin together utterly miserable.
Hideous night. With James and I both cramped in here. There's just no room for two of us. And now we've got a whole day. It's soaking wet in here. Waves actually came through the hatch underneath.
And the bad weather continues to torment them for the next 10 days. The lads row when they can, but they're constantly frustrated by a wind that pushes them round in circles. The winds are consistently higher than anything expected at that time of year. Stuck 2,300 miles from Antigua, Ben and James are going nowhere fast.
The days when we were on the sea anchor were really, they were tough because there was that frustration of suddenly what was going to be 50 days at sea turned into 51, 52, 53, because you weren't going anywhere. In fact, you were going backwards.
How boring is this?
Shocking. We're now only backwards at 2 knots, 2.2 knots.
I know that James found that particularly hard because if you're still with your anchor down, you aren't racing. And that was why he found it so tough, because it was a particular type of mental torture for James to be in a race and not be moving.
I'm so bored,
We've got playing cards, but neither of us know how to play any games.
Before they left, friends and family gave them letters to open when things got bad.
I opened one from my mother, which just said, "To make you smile." And it's a picture of her dog. Look what's on the back. She's chopped off some hair from her tail.
The standstill doesn't only have consequences for their progress in the race.
If this happens all the way across, if we keep being stuck every couple of days, then we will run out of food a long time ahead, a long way ahead. And we're going to have to start rationing, basically.
But they're not the only ones making slow progress. The weather is affecting their rivals as well. Surprisingly, Ben and James are more than holding their own.
We're now second in the race, which is amazing. But the pressure that puts on us now is just incredible. In terms of, well, James now wants to win the race. So he's already talking about a new shift system for tonight, which will basically be 2 hours on together, 1 hour off. 2 hours on together, 1 hour off. 2 hours on together, 1 hour off. Even less sleep.
Their success in the race begins to expose their conflicting priorities.
The biggest difference between us was the fact that he was racing it and I was just crossing it. And that, you know, that was hard because you can't each both go on your own agenda. You have to both go for the same one.
There was only ever really one place that I would be totally satisfied with, irrespective of what your teammate is or what your expectations were. And I wanted to win it. And it became clear that if we did everything right and pushed ourselves hard, we had a chance of being in that position.
I think we're just getting so caught up in this, trying to keep up with the rest of the competition. I mean, James has been on that phone about 5 times a day trying to find out where everyone else is. I still think it's healthy.
You've been the most negative person up in the... Well, one of the good things I thought about doing with you is you've been so positive. And you've been an absolute nightmare for the last day.
I agree. I have been
second place, and you just get morose and miserable. I'm like, oh. What?
But James's demanding work schedule brings big results. good news for him, but not such good news for Ben.
We've also found out we're in first place. Hurrah! Which actually doesn't really excite me anymore because it just it terrifies me because James has already totally redone the shifts, and I now only get 45 minutes off, and then have to row for 1.5 hours on with him, and then 45 minutes off, 1.5 hours on. Yeah. I suppose we always knew we had differences in what we both wanted from this, but mine isn't to kill myself.
One thing I said to Ben before he left, I said, if James you off, you've got to let him know. You've got to confront him, because otherwise you're just going to bottle it up and you're going to go crazy by the end of 50 days. I think he probably didn't realise how competitive James was.
I can't really explain to you, though, that it's for me, it's the higher the position, the more pressure I suddenly feel to perform.
With tension growing, and after 2 weeks of total isolation, a sail appears on the horizon. The event organisers have a yacht shadowing the competitors to police the race, as well as act as a rescue boat.
Yeah, come with me and let's show you the support yacht that we haven't seen yet on the whole trip. We've been out for 14 days and these are the first people we're going to see.
So I think this is quite exciting. I haven't seen anyone for ages. I'm a bit bored of staring at your ugly mug. We've been stuck in that little cabin like 2 sardines. Sorry? Still? There's no way anyone can row into this right now.
No. How far are we ahead by?
And who is the next one? Do you know?
Number 9, 3, 4. We'll catch you again another time, okay?
Okay.
Have fun.
Have fun. See you later. And there they're off.
After 14 days of rowing, Ben and James still lead the pack and are in with a real chance of winning. But there's an awful lot of ocean between them and the finishing line. It's December, and Ben and James are making good progress. They're rowing in shifts so that the boat is constantly moving. One rows for 2 hours while the other rests, and this continues 24 hours a day, every day. It's this grueling system that's been keeping them at the front of the pack. But their success in the race has exposed differences between the two rowers, and it's creating tension.
What worries me the most about James is that he is a gold-winning Olympian, and he is very much I don't just want to take part in this race, I want to beat the world record, and I want to come first.
We should maybe row a lot more than normal on the day before the wind comes.
Yeah.
That's how you win the races.
Winning it has been so important to James, and in a way that's just how he's coped with it. That's been his coping mechanism, is to focus on winning it, and when he's had that goal in mind, he's been able, I think, to get through it. If he didn't have that, I don't think he'd know what to think about out there.
You know, Ben said that James is very preoccupied about what Ben thinks about when he's actually rowing. And Ben, you know, and he always asks him, what do you think about? What do you think about? And Ben says, oh, I think about, you know, a week I spent in Devon with Marina, or when I was on my gap year in South America, or whatever. And he just daydreams. And then eventually Ben said to James, what do you think about it? And James goes, winning.
Well, what are you prepared to do to put us in a position to win?
Well, what I'm doing now, which is kind of killing myself.
But in addition to their personal differences, there's a much bigger problem developing. One that threatens to ruin their chances of reaching the finishing line at all. The machine that converts seawater into drinking water has ground to a halt, and despite their best efforts, they can't get it restarted.
Losing water is potentially the worst thing that could happen.
Well, yeah, it's life-threatening, isn't it? I mean, that's the bottom line is, you know, we're really, really thirsty now. I mean, I can't remember being this thirsty. It's the one thing that you can't live without is water, and that's what we've been trying not only to live without it, but also race on it and row on it across the Atlantic, and it's just a nightmare.
This should now start when I turn this switch.
nothing. We were basically going thirsty. Up until then, we'd been drinking 30 litres a day, and suddenly we were down to just a couple of. We were rationing maybe 2 litres a day each. We were cooking all our food in seawater, which was very salty, and that can't have been good for us, apart from just tasting disgusting. And we were psychologically and mentally just run down and exhausted.
Despite the fact that they're not drinking nearly enough water, James is determined not to give up the lead. He insists that they continue to row hard.
We rowed 12 hours a day on 2.5 litres of water in 35 degrees, and it was horrible.
The lack of water puts Ben and James in a perilous position. It affects their minds and they start losing control, even hallucinating.
The things you're thinking about doing to yourself, things that you think there's no way you're going to make it, things you'd rather be anywhere else, do anything to be anywhere else, that's so tough.
James is on the phone and desperately devastated, crying and just desperate. I mean, when I put the phone down, I was actually quite worried about what he was going to do. I mean, he sounded like he was going to throw himself overboard, and that was a really anxious time.
Dangerously dehydrated, they have to take drastic measures. The boat has an emergency supply of water that acts as ballast. But if they break into it, according to the race rules, they'll incur a time penalty. James is far from happy about it.
That's when we reached the whole, perhaps big difference between James and I, and that is that I took part in this race to do the crossing, whereas James took part in it to do the race. And by dipping into that fresh water, we incurred a penalty, which for me didn't really matter, you know, as long as I got there. But James was much more adamant about leaving it till the last minute.
We've tried everything. We've tried rewiring the water maker. We've tried connecting it to different batteries, swapping it over, and basically we're gasping. I'm kind of hallucinatory with thirst. So in here, this is a very dusty cupboard full of our ballast. So this is basically the water that is compulsory to take along to keep the integrity of the boat and for such an emergency. One each. Try and make it last 24 hours, something.
With Christmas approaching, Ben and James's dream looks in tatters. Their only hope of carrying on in the race is if they can fix the water maker. With one last desperate roll of the dice, they bypass all the boat's electrics and hook up the battery directly to the solar panels that provide their power.
Looks very complicated back there.
It does look very complicated back there, doesn't it?
Then it's a waiting game. 36 hours to see if it will charge. It will be Christmas Day before they can try it again.
It's the strangest place I've ever spent Christmas. Middle of the Atlantic, you know, thousands of miles of ocean all around me. Kind of as far from home and family and friends as I could be. Unfortunately, with our electrics all down, the one thing we do still have is a little special charger for the phone. So that's sucking up the sun's rays, unlike our solar cells, or hopefully, well, we'll find out later. Anyway, so it's the Christmas call, and I'm longing to call home. But I will admit that I'm a bit nervous. I hope I don't get kind of emotional. I can't really explain my emotions on here. They just sort of happen. You see, I feel fine now, and I'm a grown man. Grown men don't cry, so hopefully I won't. Hi, Mum. Merry Christmas. How are you? No, I'm gonna go and open them in a minute. Okay. I love you. Hi, Dad. How are you? So. Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. How are you all there? Okay. Love you, Mum.
Bye. Bye.
Thousands of miles from their loved ones and tormented by thirst, Ben and James try their best to celebrate Christmas. But they're in a fragile state.
Hooray! Christmas, James.
Yeah, man.
Christmas.
That's good about as Christmassy as Scrooge.
This is our Christmas. How long can we have? How long can we have to sit here and just sit and be?
James has allowed them a 2-hour break from rowing to mark the occasion.
I never thought on Christmas Day I'd have water as my highest wish on the list.
Oh, James, man.
Row your own rock duck. In 72 hours. All you have to do, put it in water. What have we got? None of? Water.
Good one.
Ben calls his girlfriend, Marina.
Hello. Happy Christmas, darling. I just tried calling you. Oh, how are you? Okay. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we have.
I didn't expect the phone call on Christmas Day, and I just thought, oh my God, what's wrong? And it was when they didn't have any water, and Ben just, which is very rare for Ben, you know, he just said, I can't go on. So depressing, and I did my best to keep his hopes up, and I think they were slightly delirious from lack of water.
Then it's James's turn to call his wife, Bev.
How's the little soldier?
He just sounded little out in the middle of the ocean. Just sounded sort of small and tiny and helpless, and that's not a side of James you ever see. And to hear him cry so often, I mean, he's cried on most of the phone calls, sobbed. That's unheard of.
You good?
No one said that rowing the Atlantic was going to be easy, but I had no idea how hard it was going to be.
Ben and James spend the whole of Christmas Day praying that the watermaker's battery is charging. It's an agonizing wait, but finally the moment of truth arrives. If the watermaker fails now, their dreams of crossing the Atlantic are over.
What's happening, James?
It's pretty much the defining moment of the trip so far. We've let the solar panels charge the battery, one battery for 2 days. We're going to start it and hopefully produce enough water to live on. To be honest, this is the biggest wait for a Christmas present I've ever had. You know, this is the most important thing today.
I'll turn the stopcock on. It's on.
Christmas Day, there's really only one thing you can do to celebrate, and let's just go. We have water! Water! We have water!
We were so happy. Oh, we were so happy. I just remember James just jumping into the water. And it suddenly seemed like Antigua was in our grasp again.
I've been amazing! I want to get it all out of my system! We have water!
Oh, Benny boy. Game on, man, game on.
We're back in the loop.
Back in action. Benny boy.
Water!
You row, I'm gonna make you a cocktail.
A water cocktail. Can it please come with some water?
Yes.
With a little drop of water, and then a little drop of water on that. And topped off with an ice cube that we can't possibly have.
No.
Oh, James, I'm so happy.
Yeah,
that's the best Christmas present I've ever had.
Oh, Ben, man, that was so nice. Stress relief. That's the best Christmas present ever.
Despite all the festive cheer, James still has his eye on the prize. It may be Christmas Day, but that's no excuse for not rowing.
Okay.
I'm so happy.
Back on your seat.
Look at you, slave driver.
Mate, you want to get to Antigua?
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Rowing, man. We're winning the race still.
Oh. Water, water, water. Water, water, water.
With their thirsts well and truly quenched, the race begins again in earnest. And James won't let anything slow them down, not even the sea life. Tiny barnacles have attached themselves to the hull of the boat, and he's convinced they'll create drag in the water.
Excuse the nappy rash. Be very careful, James, please, yeah? Should you not put a line on you?
I'm only going 1 knot. I'm only going down there to check the bottom of the boat.
You watch where you're panning that camera.
Okay, but James, please, I am a bit nervous about you going in.
I'm going to flop over the side. I'm out of here.
Any idea of the depth?
No, deeper than 6'4".
About 6,400. Long way down.
But leaving the boat is a risk. One of the other boats in the race has already been attacked by a shark. The threat is very real. Not only that, but the rough seas threaten to sweep James away.
How is it?
Very salty. I'm suddenly very scared of sharks all of a sudden.
Watch the big wave. Please hold on tightly, James, yeah?
Despite the dangers, James survives. And while he's been risking life and limb underwater, Ben's been dedicating himself to more domestic duties.
Can you fill up my Lucozade bottle with water?
Your Lucozade is done.
Is it? Thank you.
Yeah, I've been an excellent housewife. Does Bev fill your water bottle?
I guess I clean the car, you can do the cooking.
I don't know what that says about each of our characters, James. I've even cleaned your spoon.
Yeah.
But James's need for speed is getting Ben down.
It all comes back to this race thing, doesn't it? Which is kind of doing my head in more than ever. But, you know, we're racing. I just want to cross. We were called up by the race organisers yesterday to say that when Sula, the support yacht, visited us a few days ago, she took a picture and saw that we were drying a pair of pants from one of the mast, the running lights or something, and we were told that could increase our speed and to remove them at once. And hello, a pair of pants. How do you dry stuff? Apparently they were acting like a sail. You know, all this is just building. And I just want to hug.
But there is the odd distraction from the race. They may be 1,500 miles from the nearest land, but they're not alone.
Cool.
They're sharing the same course as a whale.
Can't buy that, Fogle.
No, you can't, James.
Not long lead now.
There's loads around. Here it is coming underneath. You see it? Look, James. See the blue? It's coming underneath us. Look at it! Oh my God, look at the size of it! Whoa, man! Whoa! Look at him! That is an enormous whale. Kind of swept like a sort of torpedo or submarine underneath us, way bigger than we are, and just swept underneath, which was, I mean, it was magical, I have to say. It was magical. It wasn't scary, because it could have easily tipped us. It was much bigger than us. I'd just say it was just an amazing, amazing sight.
But the happiness is short-lived. The winds turn against them yet again and stop them dead in their tracks. No matter how hard they row, they just can't make any progress. But not all the race competitors are experiencing the same conditions. And while Ben and James stand still, the others are catching up.
So have you been enjoying it, James?
I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying today, no. Not at all. Just want to get on with it. You can't do anything that yourself, really. Like, if it's windy like this, you just can't really move into it, and then not everyone has the same conditions, which really annoys me.
When the weather was against us, it just drove him utterly crazy. If we could, because he's from a world of sport where most things are controllable. As long as you are the fittest man in the world, you are one of the best rowers. Given that calm water in that boat, you can do it.
And we've worked really hard to get in a good position at the front, and now you get this. And it happened last time. We got to the front, and then we got bad wind again. And it's just starts to get on top of you after a while, and yeah, it's going down a bit today.
The Olympics, if it gets windy, they stop it. If it's unfair, they stop it. Whereas for us, I can get over the fact that if we had bad wind, someone else 200 miles north had great wind and took 100 miles off us in a day. And I'm going, that's clearly not fair. Everyone should have to stop at the same time. But there's all these things that I couldn't get my head around.
Stupid idea was this.
Hate me.
I do hate you right now. I hate everybody right now. I'm full of hate.
Started ranting like a madman, throwing oars around, screaming, rowing just like a man possessed. It was incredible. And I did have to kind of hide myself in the cabin and just kind of steer clear of him, because I knew that he was ready to just absolutely blow.
He has sort of been struggling a bit, to say the least, which kind of means that the other person on the boat ends up suffering a bit as well. Get me to Antigua, please. Okay.
I'd been in the cabin and I had been a bit upset. Quite upset. I had been crying, in fact. But I was so upset, I just thought I had to admit to him, or just I wanted him to know that I was feeling down. So I said, listen, James, I'm having a really, really low day. And he was like, OK. So I got onto the oars and rowed my session. And about halfway through, he said, Ben, can I ask you a question? He said, do you really care about this race? Because you're not sweating, and I just don't think you're putting any effort into it. And I was just incredulous. It's just like, I've just told him I'm having a really low day and I'm really rowing hard here, and you're asking me why I'm not sweating.
At times, some things that were meant to be quite sensitive and helpful came across really badly. Combined with Ben, who is probably a bit sensitive, I would say. He's had things his own way quite a lot in his life, and doesn't particularly like being told what to do or people being a bit straight with him. So it took him a while to realise that I was just saying what I thought rather than being vindictive or nasty.
I'm sure there were things that annoyed him about me, and there were definitely things that got to me.
Ben still didn't really mind whether we won or lost for a lot of the race, but he wanted to get there as quick as possible. So effectively that amounts to the same thing. And we tried, and I tried especially, to use his motivation to get there quickly to push us hard.
As Ben becomes more resigned to the idea of racing, his morale begins to lift. And for once, the weather starts to lend them a helping hand.
Bit of wind today then, Ben?
Oh, this is what we've been waiting for. All those days of longing for the so-called northeasterlies and easterlies, and finally it's here. So there's quite a swell actually, and finally we're actually making like really good headway. When I say really good, how many miles did we do? That you're being knocked all over the place. How many miles was it yesterday? 80?
Yeah.
80 miles. I mean, there's been whole weeks when we haven't done that.
The strong tailwind and the big waves push them ever faster.
It feels like we're going to do it, which is amazing. I think it's the first few days when James and I are really starting to enjoy it and realising, you know, that we can do this and we can do it well. Oh, there we go. What speed's that, James?
5 knots.
5 knots!
Now, I don't like to count my chickens before they're hatched, but I have to say today is a very good day. I have a big smile on my face for the first time.
But the strong winds get stronger and the big waves get bigger. Ben and James are about to face the biggest challenge of the trip. Little did they know that their very lives hung in the balance.
It was a rough night, but a very fast night for us. We're being blown in the right direction, but there were big waves. I was in the cabin and Ben was rowing, and it was just as he was sort of doing the first day shift, sort of 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
I just looked up and just saw this enormous, enormous wave. I thought the end of the world had come.
The next thing I know, I just feel it here and feel a crash at the same time.
James. All I remember was just feeling a torrent of water hitting me.
The giant wave flips the boat end over end, a complete capsize.
I just remember being underwater, just holding on to an oar, feeling my feet slip from my shoes. No other thoughts to that. That's all I remember, just holding on to one of the oars, then the oar slipping from my hand, and just being underwater and just not knowing which way was up and down.
I kind of wake up with my face pressed against the skylight of the cabin, and I can hear loads of water coming in through the door.
I burst out of the water, and there was the boat capsized, a black hull just sticking out of the water. All I was thinking about was, where the hell is James? Why is he not up yet? Why is he not out of the cabin?
And I'm disorientated. My first thing is, oh my God, the boat's broken.
You know, there I was, 700 miles from anywhere, in an enormous ocean, 25-foot waves, 100 feet away from a boat upturned. And I just went into shock there and then.
I remember stumbling out to try and look for Ben, because I realised we'd been upside down, didn't know where he was, and I come out on deck, and all the stuff that's sat on our deck, water bottles, thermos flasks, our big water tank, all that was in the sea just drifting away, and no sign of Ben. And I was like, I grabbed the throwing line, I was shouting for him.
I just saw James's face peering over, looking around, just like a rabbit. And I just said, I'm here. You know, just that, I just remember that, just, I'm here.
Down the cabin is underwater. Half the stuff's outside. It's been swept overboard.
Very scary, and Ben's very shaken.
Because he was so normal about, OK, so we flipped, and we've lost lots of equipment, and we're going to be out of communications till we get to Antigua. It was, don't care, come on, let's get rowing so we don't lose our position. And, you know, that's amazing that he was able to do that, because I was in serious shock.
They managed to make one call to a friend to inform him of their desperate plight.
And Ben shouts from the other end, don't tell our families, you know, we'll tell them.
And then the phone stops working.
So all we knew is we had 700 miles to go. We had very few electrics working, no GPS working.
Little did they know, this desperate news had already reached their families.
And I genuinely know what it means now when they say your heart sinks. It was a terrifying moment of, oh my God.
My main worry was that the power had gone and that their desalinator wasn't going to work if they hadn't got any power. But we just didn't hear from them.
We were worried that the support yachts are miles away. We're a long way from a shipping lane. Or at least we couldn't get hit by a ship, which was good, but we also couldn't get rescued by one.
In most scenarios, if it all gets too much or if things happen, then you call up and someone can come and rescue you and get you. But there was no way of doing that. While I thought the end of the world had come, and that was it, and the race was over, and I just wanted to get home, and I wanted to be as far from that ocean as possible.
The nightmare of the capsize has also caught up with James. His wife Bev gave him 2 letters for the journey, one for Christmas and one for a moment when things hit rock bottom.
I said to him, this is going in an envelope. You only open it when you're at your very, very, very lowest ebb. This has to be the moment when you want to get off that boat and go home, right in the middle of the race.
Got a letter from Bev, a low point letter, to open at the lowest point. I've been through some pretty dark points since we've started this, and I think today I'm going to open it. If you open this letter, you must be feeling pretty desperate. It's hardly surprising given what an amazing adventure you have embarked upon and how many people failed to complete it. The most important thing is that you finish the race. I've always said that it is irrelevant whether you win or not. I know how much you would like to, but I hope it just isn't driven you mad just finishing it. Just finish it, baby. Call me baby if you need to talk, no matter what time it is. I'm sure the notion is following your progress eagerly. I'm making everyone really proud to get your 60th to Antigua. We're waiting for a big cut. No matter how bad things are normally in life, you can leave it behind and go somewhere else. And we couldn't do that. We just couldn't leave it behind for any second of the day. It was always there.
Stuck hundreds of miles from land and with no communication with the outside world, Ben is tormented by not being able to speak to his loved ones.
I'm so worried about everyone not knowing whether we're well and safe or not. When I was rowing just before, I was just panicking about what might be going through their minds with, not knowing. I just feel awful.
For Ben and James, their journey across the Atlantic is proving far tougher than they could have imagined. After the terrible shock of the capsize, they've resolved to focus on getting to the finish line fast. And they start to make real progress.
We've got going incredibly well from the capsize. We got straight back on the horse and clocked out sort of between 80, 90 and 100 miles over the last few days.
The boys hope that the lowest point of the crossing is now well and truly behind them.
It started out and was, Ben and James' big adventure, but it did become a huge, enormous battle with the ocean.
After almost 2 months of such a punishing challenge, the physical nature of the race is taking its toll, particularly on James.
These last few days, there's been lots of bottom painage.
You get more bottom painage than...
But despite the excruciating pain, they're persevering against all the odds.
Been hit by yet another problem. Our water maker is on the blink, which means we have no water.
During the capsize, it got flooded and was badly damaged.
The water maker, I don't think, liked being capsized.
And now it's struggling to produce the 30 litres a day that they need to survive.
The bottom line was we knew nothing about how the water maker worked. We had a manual on board.
They are unaware just how far they have left to go, and more importantly, how much water they're going to need.
This whole kind of race is a constant weighing up of pros and cons. Do you stop for X, Y, and Z? If so, for how long? Do we lose our lead by doing so?
Each boat in the race carries an emergency water supply, but if they use this water, they incur time penalties. They've already had to use it once. Now this will be the second time.
Sounds very, very, very weak. I've tried to be as optimistic on this as much as I can, and just listen to it.
Resigned to the fact that the water maker is broken, they dip into their emergency supply.
Got no option but to dip in, and if you dip in it, you may as well get your head round it, and you can't get there quickly on no water, and we'll die.
But there's only enough water for 5 days. In spite of all their hard work, because they've used their emergency water, their crossing will be judged to be slower. With the emergency water in short supply, Ben and James focus on getting to the finish line as fast as possible.
Our GPS wasn't working, we had a compass bearing, we just headed off on that and off we went.
Ben and James have overcome yet another hurdle together. But the constant mental and physical battles are starting to prove a real struggle.
There's so many different things that were worrying us, and yeah, it was tough.
No one will ever fully really understand what it's like rowing 2 hours on, 2 hours off for 50 days in enormous oceans, knowing you could be capsized at any moment, knowing the water maker could break at any moment. You know, it was like tenterhooks just waiting for something else to break, knowing it could. Every time you were doing well, something else would go wrong, and James is the only other person that will really understand what that was like.
They have little concept of their position in the race. Antigua and their loved ones still seem a long way off.
Well, it's been about 5 days since the capsize. Still don't have any water maker, anything like that to dip into the ballast. I am only just hanging in, just this much. I'm losing it, I'm losing my marbles. You know, I definitely began to lose it in terms of my mind. Probably about 3 days from the end was the worst time, and I did become officially loopy.
But their current situation is testing their sanity. They've been in total isolation since the capsize and only have themselves to fall back on. But just as it's getting as low as it can do, suddenly their temperamental VHF radio crackles back into life. It's another boat, and it's a very welcome sound.
Hi James, I'll give you our position if you've got a pen, and that way you'll know where we are, and I can keep you updated, because obviously the VHF range, if you keep going at the rate you've been going at, you'll be out of us within a day or so. Over.
We've slowed right up now, actually.
The radio has come into range with another boat competing in the race. The total lack of communication since the capsize has been one of the most trying parts of the journey.
058 degrees.
And you'd pull your hair out and we'd fiddle with things, and then suddenly it would start working again, and you'd just feel complete elation.
Still unaware of what their families know, or more importantly don't know, they relay vital messages to their loved ones via the other boat. Early next morning, they receive the news they've been so desperate to hear.
The other thing he says is all families, partners and friends are well in Antigua, and all looking forward to seeing you on your arrival. Over.
Great. Thank you very much for that. It's so good to just be able to talk to someone. Anyway, to tell you the truth, not that James is very good company, but it's good just to know that there is an outside world and other people rowing. So thank you very, very much. Over.
We'll speak again soon. Atlantic 4 over and out.
This is Spirit of EDF Energy out.
This is just the lift they need to push on to the finish line. Since the capsize, the weather has been with them, and they've been enjoying glorious sunshine, which has been gradually drying out their electrics, including the intermittent GPS navigation system.
Now, I am going to show you something rather exciting. If I move over to here, this is our little control panel. That is our GPS, which is up working again. That, is our speed. You can tell James is on because it's always over 3. And that is the distance to go. 45.7 miles. That is Antigua, and that little bit is our boat. Just look at how close it is.
With just 45 miles to Antigua, Ben and James are only 14 hours away from their families. But it's clear that the 2 months at sea have had a serious physical effect on James.
You could see the pain in his eyes, because when I was lying in the cabin, I could just see, and he'd wince with every one, and occasionally he'd just throw the oars down, and you could just hear the frustration.
Stupid idea is this.
And I suppose to see such a strong person go from that strength to the weakness that I could see it was really worrying, yeah.
One of the safety courses we went on, they said, you're not a survivor until you're home. I was feeling pretty ill and had no energy, and then I think my body, which was probably just being held together by my mind, When my mind has said, "Are you home?" it just totally collapsed.
And I already see the veins starting to come up in my legs and things that never been there before. It's definitely starting to get skinny.
With only 6 hours to go, James rests his body whilst Ben rows to the finish line.
What we have to do is when we get 25 miles from the finish line, which is Cape Shirley Lighthouse, we give them a call on the VHF radio, and they will then send an Iridium phone message to the Antiguan Coast Guard and to a representative of Woodvale, who'll come to check us in as such, stopwatch the finish line. The stopwatch has been going for a long time, and escort us into harbour, and that's into English Harbour, and that's where we'll see our families and girlfriends and wives, and I'm just dreaming of fresh. That's the one thing I'm really longing for. Fresh, clean sheets and a bed to lie on.
You'd think what we've been hit by this this trip, we've had all the storms, then got in the lead, had more storms, lost the lead, then the battery power went, then the water maker broke for the first time, then the GPS broke, then we capsized, and now the water maker's broken again.
Despite all these obstacles, as the sun sets on their final hours at sea, they are alive and well, just about in one piece, and heading for dry land.
It's amazing for like the last 7 weeks. Every time I've been on my night shifts, I've always rowed under a constellation of stars, which I think is supposed to be a frying pan. But from the way I look at it, it looks like a question mark. Really does, completely question mark. And last night was the first night it wasn't there. Isn't that amazing?
There's some lights behind us, and one of them's flashing, and that is the lighthouse we're heading for. That is Antigua's, what's it called?
Cape Shirley Lighthouse.
Shirley Lighthouse. And we're making steady progress. I'll say one arm rowing with one broken seat. I look like I've been doing all the work that Ben's been doing. I'm just here for the glory run. And then Ben's going to take us over the finish line.
Friends and family gather on the quayside in Antigua, desperate for the first glimpse of their loved ones. They haven't seen them for 2 months.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't believe this moment's finally here.
I'm looking forward to seeing him now, but I'm just quite worried about what sort of stage things. Apparently his sores are quite infected. We might have to get him to hospital, so I just don't want him to be in any pain.
GMT, it's about 5 in the morning.
So midnight in the Caribbean.
And what are your thoughts? Elation, relief?
There will be relief on my bum when we get out of here.
They set out on an adventure together that would change their lives for good. One Olympian, one celebrity, and one boat embarked on a voyage of extreme endurance that would see them pull together in one of the most dangerous places. After 2 short months of preparation, they said goodbye to their loved ones and headed for the high seas and all that it could throw at them. They have been through the hell of incredible physical pain, the horrors of dehydration, and the high waters of life-threatening storms. But after 3,000 epic miles, they are nearly there and in one piece.
That is the finish line! We've done it! We have crossed the Atlantic!
Well done, buddy. Well done.
Oh!
Through the darkness of the morning of their 50th day, their friends and loved ones get the first glimpse of the 2 heroic adventurers. James Cracknell and Ben Fogle.
Well done.
Cheers for the guys. Hip hip.
They finally completed their incredible voyage, crossed the finish line in first place, and they're 2 days ahead of the next boat.
Look at you.
Steady back.
done.
Clever boy. That was hard, Dad. Don't let me do anything like that again.
We're not going to let you do anything like that.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
That was amazing, mate. We saved each other's lives, basically, there. He was an amazing, you know, we were a team, and I think we both had our positive attributes to it. But James was, you know, he was a very strong force on that boat, and I have an enormous amount of respect for him.
What I found motivating was that he never ever once didn't do a shift, didn't get up early to do his shift. There were times I was the one who was late out of bed to get to the oars. He was never late. He was everything that I challenged him with, he rose to.
I wouldn't be here now in the time that we had done it in had it not been for James and his, just his motivation is amazing.
But he pushed, but you see the state of him now, he's totally broken down. And when someone's, even if they're don't really want to race that much, he still did it. And I was motivated by him all the way through because of that.
It's difficult to explain what rowing the Atlantic feels like. It's, I suppose in the same breath, it was incredible and horrid, if that's possible.
People at the start who were kind of rowers that, you know, not that I knew particularly well, but you see around, you know, they would sort of think, what are you doing? You know, he's not going to make it. You know, he's not tough enough for something like this. I think they underestimate what's within him, and I saw it a couple of times in the build-up. He says, "Oh, I'm not an athlete. I'm not competitive." And I said to him, "You are. I've been around enough sports to know you've got a really good athletic basis there."
The biggest difference between us was the fact that he was racing it and I was just crossing it, and that, you know, that was hard.
For him, I hope that what's come out of it is that he'll back himself in other situations, because he performs. I've rowed the Olympics with people that are supposed to be really tough guys, and he's up there with them, definitely.
Two days later, Ben and James meet to reflect on their phenomenal achievement of rowing 3,000 miles across the Atlantic in a 24-foot boat.
So it's all over now, so what are your have you got any thoughts about what you've been through and what you're feeling now?
Well, we haven't sat on the boat for a couple of days. And
it's really weird sitting back here now, as we left it that night, with just loo paper still sticking out of the bag, sun cream on the deck. Look at this pot of Vaseline. Look.
Raisins that are rehydrated, the size of
our last night's snack bag is here, with the pink biscuit biltong that we never used to eat, and all the energy bars and the foam padding for our bottoms. It's really weird. It's slightly surreal, isn't it?
The thought of getting back in that cabin.
Wow. Oh. Just unbelievable. And the cabin is just putrid. We just stuck our heads in, it stinks.
Smell it from here.
You've seen more of me in my emotions and my personality and my highs and my lows than anyone.
And the same with you. I mean, it's just totally exposed, because it just leaves you no option but to bare yourself physically and emotionally to everyone around you. It's an incredible experience in that respect. And you're right, in that respect, I wouldn't change it. And I would recommend that sort of level of soul searching that we had, but for that long and in these conditions, it's tough to say yes. I'd love to do that again. But
after having gone through what we have gone through, it's going to be very difficult to get me down about anything, or for me to
to feel I can't do anything. Because after you've rowed the Atlantic, for goodness sake, you know, what is there you can't do?
The things that you think maybe you couldn't do before, that under real pressure you can do. So that's a really good thing. And also I learned about the human body, that it will keep going and keep going and keep going, and it's your mind that will let you down before your body. And as a sportsman, that's always a good thing to be reminded of. If you before the start, if you'd lined up all the things that had gone wrong, I'd thought there's no way we're going to get there. So I guess sitting back here now, you think even more impressed and proud that we sort of managed to carry on, and pride and pure stubbornness got us through, I think.
The Fogle Cracknell team did it.
I enjoyed every... oh no. Bits of it.
We've done it! We have crossed the Atlantic!
Good job, man.
That was amazing, mate.